All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's about 3:20 on Wednesday, March 2nd, and want to give you an update. Things are starting to happen, unfortunately, but nothing to be terribly alarmed about at the moment. Want to give you a quick update. So we just had a tornado watch issued for, as you can see, all of North Texas until 10 o'clock. This is for a few tornadoes, hail up to 3 inches in diameter. That doesn't mean everybody's going to see that, but that could be the case in the most severe storms. And wind gusts of 75 miles an hour. Now, that's most likely going to be more tied to the squall line that's going to move through later this evening. So, first things first. So, let's go straight to the radar because we do have some development in Dallas County that I want to talk to you about. So we'll zoom in on this. Nothing severe, but we are getting into crunch time with kids getting out of school and people commuting home from work. So we're going to zoom in on these storms. So there's nothing to be terribly concerned about at this moment. They are sub-severe, if you will. Let me zoom out a little bit more here. And so just northeast of downtown Dallas, have a decent sized cell right there. Another cell just northeast of Hutchins at the 45 Interstate 20 boundary. So nothing, again, to be concerned about at the moment, but we do have an atmosphere that is very unstable. And so the thing we have to watch for is anytime we have thunderstorms that pop in this kind of environment, they could go severe. Doesn't mean they're all going to go severe, but it's just now we're at a situation where we have to watch everything pretty closely. So that's the latest as far as the immediate Dallas Fort Worth area. I haven't seen any reports of any hail at this point, but again, these storms, they could pulse back down. They could kind of intensify too. So it's just something that we got to watch out for. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit more here and kind of give you a little bit bigger picture on what to expect. So we only have two severe thunderstorm warnings currently, northern Denton County and in our area, I should say, northern Denton County, Cook County. So let's see what we got going on here. Got the tornado watch, of course, until 10 p.m. So let's zoom in on the Denton County warning. And so as you can see, I don't want to go that close. Let's zoom back out here. So as you can see, definitely some hail in this storm. Again, this is not Dallas Fort Worth, so no concerns there. But if you have friends or relatives that live in Gainesville up near the Sherman area, just make sure they're aware that a storm is coming their way. So just FYI, but not immediate Dallas Fort Worth. But again, this is the type of atmosphere we have that these storms did start out rather small before, and they can grow pretty quick. So that's why we're on here talking at the moment, especially with the tornado watch being issued. So right now, just to reset, if you're just joining us, no severe thunderstorm warnings for Dallas Fort Worth proper are under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. So keep that in mind. And we will definitely have a potentially long evening ahead of us, not a long night, because like I said all along, this is going to be over by 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Checking the comments real quick. Don't see anything. Yes, Debbie, praying is a good thing. So definitely want to pray that we all. I forgot to mute my phone, so we'll get that in a second. So I wanted to kind of focus now a little bit more on. I don't know if I can mute that or not. Let's see. Give me. There we go. Okay. So as you can see out to the west, we're starting to see the formation of our squall line that will come through again, probably 7, 8 o'clock tonight, maybe on the western part of town, 6 o'clock at the earliest. I don't know that it's going to be that early even in the western part of town, but on the eastern part of the Metroplex, you're probably talking 7, 8 p.m. That's probably going to be the go time for that storm, for that squall line. Now, as I've mentioned this morning, the issue with that particular line of storms will be more related to wind. That's why we have the tornado watch that included the 75-mile-an-hour wind threat. But again, these type squall lines can have embedded. Well, I thought I silenced that. Try this one more time. All right. So again, we sorry about that. Again, this, when you have to juggle your day job too. So we have with that squall line, we could still see tornadoes. Everybody just calls when I'm online. so we have the ability, or the threat, I should say, of spin up tornadoes. Again, like I said, they're not the traditional tornadoes, but they can still do damage. Let's see what we got. Okay, it's Oklahoma. So with that, I am going to hop on this real quick. Just get you a little bit more graphic look at everything. So the yellow is a severe thunderstorm watch. The yellow shaded. The yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. The red shaded is our tornado watch. And again, you can see it encompasses a large area of North Texas. So again, so we're going to go back to the radar here, and you can see these hail markers, and I'll zoom in a little bit. And these are radar indicated hail markers, so they're not all the ground truth. You know what? Let me get this, and I'll be right back. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. Well, when your daughter calls, you have to answer the phone. So, anyway, sorry about that. As I was saying, we do see these hail markers that have come with this line of storms that were northwest of us. And so these storms are definitely producing hail. So, again, nothing in the immediate area, but as far as hail producing storms, but we do have storms popping up. Nothing in Tarrant County, but we do have some storms in Dallas County. Now, I say storms, they're not severe, but let's take a closer look at them here. All right, so okay, well, there's a perfect example of that particular storm that's over downtown Garland. It's definitely weakening some, so that's good. So it could definitely ramp up, but we just want to make sure it doesn't ramp up. Now, this storm down south on the Dallas County Ellis County line is definitely getting stronger. Again, not severe, but it's just something that we want to watch. I don't even see a storm marker on it or a cell marker on it, so that's actually good news. But I wouldn't be surprised to see if we get that soon enough. Hey, Andrew, how are you, sir? Good to see you online. Anyway, I guess quote see you. So a lot of people were picking up kiddos between now and 4 o'clock. And as you can see, if you look at Denton, Collin, Tarrant, and Dallas County, you don't see a lot of activity in a general sense, but you do have these couple cells in eastern Dallas County, and especially in southern Dallas County. Oh, there's a storm marker on it right now. So let's take a look at these. All right, so wow, this one's moving northeast at 49 miles an hour. No hail marker, so that is good. If this storm cell were to hold together, let's see what we'd be talking about here. See if it's going to let me do this. We'll just put 50 miles an hour just to round it up. Let's see if we can extend it out a little bit more. Let's try this again. Let's actually do this. So if this storm even holds together, you would probably be seeing, just expect this particular storm. Sorry, over in Garland, Saxy's less than 7 minutes. Liberty Grove, 9 minutes away. Wiley, 14. Lavon, 17. So, but again, that's not severe, so it's not anything to be concerned about. But just to give you an idea of what that particular cell is doing, if it decides to misbehave, but it's not misbehaving yet. All right, so let's look at this cell down here. Again, northeast at 47 miles an hour. So this one's a little more interesting. So we have a 60% hail probability, maximum hail size, half-inch hail. Now remember, this is the radar beam looking up into the cloud. It doesn't mean that that's a half-inch hail is reaching the ground. And on top of that is estimated hail size. It's not no ground reports on that. But if you take a timeline on this one, and again moving about 50 miles an hour, so pretty quick. So if you take a track on this one, if it were to hold together, let's see, Seagoville, 11 minutes, Paul Springs, 13 minutes, Mesquite, 17 minutes, Sunnyvale, 20 minutes from now, Forney, 21 minutes. So if you live in those areas, let me scroll down here, Heath, 27 minutes, McClendon, Chisholm, 30 minutes, Rockwall, 33 minutes. So if it holds together in its current configuration, if you take Rockwall, for example, it'd be moving in a little after 4 o'clock. So just something to keep an eye on. It's not severe. But again, as I mentioned earlier, we definitely have an atmosphere that would support that. So, and Andrew, your mom's saying it's pouring in Howe. Van Alstyne, nothing's happening yet. Yeah, and so that's good. We'll take the pour as long as nothing frozen, if you will, comes out of the sky. And just to kind of zoom in on Andrew's neck of the woods, or his mom's neck of the woods, I should say. I can see. So that storm up in Howe area of Van Alstyne, not severe. Just a good old-fashioned rainstorm. A couple lightning strikes, so nothing too big. The storm just to the west of that, southwest of Collinsville, that is a storm. If you live in this, if you know of anybody that lives in the Sherman area, you might want to just give them a buzz and say, hey, Sherman Denison area, just say, hey, just FYI, this storm is headed your way. So it's definitely severe. And if we look at the details on that storm, I'm assuming it's severe because of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. So it is, again, very common with these type storms we're seeing. All right. And then we see some other development up in Oklahoma, which is not surprising. Okay, so good news is, we probably got a good news, bad news situation here. So the good news is the storm that was, I say even storm, I don't even think it had a thunder with it yet. The storm over Saxe, Garland kind of dying off, which is good. Even though the cap is eroding, we still have a little bit of a cap. So these storms that have updrafts that aren't quite as strong as most likely the updraft that's in southern Dallas County, and then they're going to tend to be suppressed by the cap. But again, it won't take an updraft that's even halfway strong to break the cap today. So that's probably what we're seeing down in southern Dallas County. All right. So, but again, that's not severe, but we just got to make sure that it stays that way. And if it were to stay on its current trajectory, we're talking, something like that. Again, 50-mile-an-hour movement. Like I mentioned before. So, if you live in Mesquite, Forney, Heath, McClendon, Chisholm, Rockwall, just keep an eye on that storm. It's something I'll definitely keep an eye on too. But it's something that we definitely want to keep an eye on as the day goes on, as the evening goes on, really. All right, so let's zoom back out here real quick. Let's see, just checking everything. So we do see some development in East Texas. So if have relatives, people live in East Texas, Tyler, Longview, Mount Pleasant, Mount Vernon, in that area, then just, they're under the gun too. And as I've mentioned all along, they probably have a worse chance or better chance, depends on how you want to look at it, of seeing severe weather, more violent severe weather than we do. So that's, just keep an eye out for them. All right, so let's focus a little bit back toward the west. So again, this is the line that's starting to take shape for us that will move through our area 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something like that. So let's zoom in on this to see what, to see what the weather is for them. And that can kind of give us an idea of what we can expect for us as it gets closer here. Let's see if I can find this storm here. This list is going to get a lot longer, I can tell you that. Let's see, let's try this again. Let's go here. Here's the one we want. All right. So we have hail to an inch, 70-mile-an-hour winds, so not 60-mile-an-hour winds. Remember, 60-mile-an-hour winds is the minimum criteria for a severe thunderstorm. So this particular storm, and as soon as the radar loads up, it will. Let me do this real quick before I forget. All right. So as you can see, this is a pretty potent looking storm from a wind standpoint, and again, that's what we'll be seeing in our area later this evening, depending on how much wind we see. That's a totally different thing. Hopefully not anything that's hopefully not as bad as they think, but. And you can see some development south of that when the radar loads back up again. And can you not? Can you hear me, Barbara? Hope. Yeah. Okay. Hope I can. If you can't, if anybody else can't hear me, let me know. But I got my mic turned on, so hopefully you can hear me. Let me hold it up a little bit closer. All right. So let's see here. All right. So those storms out west, we will definitely keep an eye on those. But let's go back to our storms in Dallas County. All right, let's see here. All right. So again, I don't think anything has changed on this one. Yeah, that was at 327. So, we can. Oh, you can. Okay, now you can. Okay, great. Okay. Thanks, Barbara. And thanks, Valerie. I thought I was reading that for a second. I thought you still couldn't hear me, but I probably didn't have the mic close enough, so I apologize about that. So again, if you if you didn't hear some of it, I'll just recap. The only storms in the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex are in southeast Dallas County. Moving to the northeast, we should get a storm cell update here pretty soon, and we'll get a better idea of where the storm is moving, and we'll zoom in a little bit more on this. Kind of give you a better idea of what we're looking at. And so starting to see some lightning strikes with it. Not surprising. Some heavy rainfall. Let's see if we updated the storm marker here. We did. All right. So northeast at 45 miles an hour. That's how it's moving. So the hail probability has actually gone down a little bit. It was 50%. Now it's 10%. Max hail size is 0.01, which basically means that there is no hail in it, which is good. So that's good news. It hasn't gotten appreciably stronger. But again, like I would say, or like I've been mentioning, it's something that these storms will definitely, have the capability of getting stronger and stronger as the night goes on, unfortunately. So if you just want to take a step back for a second, as I mentioned, most of the morning and afternoon, we really had two potential episodes of severe weather. So one is kind of the episode we're dealing with right now, is that, kind of before the squall line came through, we might see these isolated storms. Fortunately, we haven't seen a ton of those yet, and hopefully it'll stay that way. But you can tell that the atmosphere is primed for that, and even these storms in southeast Dallas County, unfortunately, seem like they're trying to get their act together. And that's just something that we're going to have to watch until this front moves through, which again is going to be the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock time frame. And that's going to be at night. And, that's the bad part about it, is because you won't be able to see as well. It's just that it's just the way it is sometimes. Okay, so with that, I don't see anything that's pressing at the moment to update. I think I got all the comments here. I know people are still at work. People are, getting their kids home from school. So I know not everybody can watch this live. So I will have it on my Facebook timeline when this is done. And then I'll also post it on my YouTube page if you want to watch it after the fact. But the bottom line right now is this, about 3:40 almost at the end of this video. So no severe storms in the Metroplex. That could change pretty quickly. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. Right now, the only storms in the 5-county area, including Rockwall, sorry about that, you Rockwall people, are some thunderstorms in southeast Dallas County moving northeast toward the Rockwall, Heath, Forney area, Terrell even. And if they hold together, ultimately Greenville. So just to keep an eye on that storm. Nothing severe, but just something that we want to keep an eye on. And obviously, if things get kind of crazy, I'll be back to talk to you live about it, which unfortunately I probably will. But I would also say this, is that we will probably have a decent window between now and when the squall line gets here to do some things. So, if you need to do something between now and 6 or 7 o'clock, you're probably going to be okay. It all depends on if these storms behave themselves. And right now they are. But this, as we scan the radar back over to the left, this is our next challenge that will be coming our way. And this is the kind of main event that was always scheduled. And so we just got to keep that in mind. When that gets closer, and we'll definitely be watching that. But again, that's more of a wind threat than a tornado threat. But tornadoes and hail are not out of the question with a line like that. And then if you kind of even scoot down here a little bit more, you see these individual cells south of that line. And so I think it's just going to be one of those nights one of those evenings, I should say, to where it's just going to be something that we're just going to have to be on our toes about, and I'll be on top of it, and we'll get through all this together. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. I'll probably be back later tonight and later this evening, and we'll keep you updated. I'll post quick updates on my social media timelines, so just kind of quick updates. And then when we get kind of serious, unfortunately, about the action later, I'll be on live, and weather and technology permitting, and then we'll walk you through everything. I appreciate everyone watching, and we will talk to you soon.